read what you want. Read what you enjoy reading. And don't let anybody shame you for it.
I'm not around kids.
Are we ready to start?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping
Okay,
we'd say
so
something funny, but we didn't.
yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna stop this recording and see if it works, and then we can
Okay.
clap again.
Okay.
Perfect. Get in frame.
Are you done now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is the author?
Laura Steven.
Laura
Steven.
Laura something.
Laura Steven.
Steven. Okay. All right. We ready?
I just sold the book for you. Why was it so badly out of focus?
It's because it's.
I don't
focusing
have
us.
a physical copy.
I don't know. It's a cinematic thing. I didn't change the settings.
Okay.
Sorry. My bad.
Cinema. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to We Know What You Like. I'm Lucia.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Mary.
And technically, for the month of May, we're doing this in June.
We're not that late. It's only the 5th.
Yeah. Who knows when this actually gets posted?
Gets posted on
I'll
the end of
post
the month.
this. I'll post this as soon as you send me your copy.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah,
video.
the half of the yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, for this, we decided to do my pick, which was Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. And I decided to pick this one because I'd seen the cover for a while on TikTok, kind of just doom scrolling sort of situation. And I heard that if you liked the
Invisible Life.
Addie LaRue book of Addie LaRue book by V.C. Schwab, whatever. Be something, I got this, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I believe in you.
Thank you. That you should check this book out. And Mary, you had actually read this book prior, correct?
Yes, I was lucky enough to get the audio listening arc, so I listened to it like a month before release. It's fantastic.
How long ago was that?
It's very good. I highly recommend. This is the Owl Crate edition, by the way. And Katie's holding up the...
It's fancy.
This was what I purchased on Amazon.
Yeah, so that's the standard first edition copy.
I got my dad to have a Amazon what are they called again?
Ebook?
For Amazon? How'd they have ebooks? The
Kindle Unlimited?
Kindle Unlimited. He's doing a free trial. And he's like, why? I was like, because I need to read the book.
Shout out
to
your dad.
Just sign up. Cancel it.
Yeah.
Just sign up under his credit card and forget to cancel it.
Yes. Even better.
Oh, I should do that. Anyways, yeah, so we decided to read that. Or I decided to have that for my pick because we all really liked the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue book. And, yeah. What do we think? What are the thoughts?
Well, true to book talk fashion, I read this quite a few months ago, so I only vaguely remember everything that happened in it. I kind of only remember the plot twist at the end. But I loved this. This was a fantastic read. I loved the journey from start to finish. I recommend the audiobook. How did it read, Katie?
I really liked it. I definitely, if I hadn't had to work, I would have read it in one sitting.
Yeah, you both said you'd...
Yeah. It's uncommon for me lately. But also, the end kind of lost me.
I mean, I kind of called the ending about 60% of the way through, and I was like,
no.
Yeah, that seems like that's going to happen.
I kind of, knew what was coming, but, it was presented in such a weird way.
Yeah.
That I think it almost, broke me out of the story.
Yeah, that's kind of like when... Because I texted them when I finished it. So, true to fashion, I was the last to read it. But unlike true to fashion, I actually had a day... I finished it a day earlier, because it was pretty much a... one sitting, but I fell asleep and I just read the last 40 pages when I woke up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like I enjoyed this book. I liked the book. I think it's not fair to compare it to Addie LaRue. It's not fair.
I think
it's not fair.
The only comparison you should make is that it is about beings who are essentially immortal, so it crosses time. And if you liked Addie LaRue, you'll like aspects of this, but do not go into it thinking that you're going to get Addie LaRue out of this. You're not going to, but I can see the similarities.
So, and because of that, I'm not going to bring up Addie LaRue because I think that's a disservice to this book. Further than this portion, because they're two different things,
Yeah.
basically.
I think you get far more
but
emotional in Addie LaRue than you do in this.
Yes, I do.
You have like double the amount of pages to get attached to the characters
Yeah.
in Addie LaRue. That's the biggest
Yeah.
difference.
I felt like, because the themes of this book are fate and reincarnation, love beyond time and gender. You
Mhm.
have the burdens of memory, and I'm totally reading something off of the internet right now.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like I'll give the internet props when I need to, but in other times I just just speak on it, But yeah, because I literally looked up what are the themes of Infinite Fates.
Yeah.
Because I was reading a fan fiction, which I never do, prior to texting, like, are we doing this in 30 minutes? and then I started watching a podcast, so I wasn't like honed in yet. So I was like, wait, shit, let me get back
Wait a
into
second.
this world. It was a good podcast episode. Bindi Irwin was in it. And obviously she's Steve Irwin's daughter.
Right.
So it was a good episode.
Love that.
Anyways, going back to this. So like I love how you have these two characters that no matter what, they're destined for one another. And you have this idea of saving yourself for yourself. So like Arden's character, he purposely drops the love and hardens his heart basically to save himself.
Right.
Because how much of an impact does that have on your own memory? How much does that crush you as a person when you have to remember every single detail?
Yeah.
Now, for Evelyn, she has flashes of memories, but she still has the capability or the power of, as her, spoiler alert, she's a demon.
That's the twist at the end that I remembered happening.
Yeah, she has that she's an empath, basically. But which makes her much more human. I personally feel off about the ending because while there were sprinkles of the demon mother, basically, she wasn't like... I felt like she was thrown in last arc, at the end.
Yeah, she was kind of like a toss away.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had such a hard time suspending the belief because it was so glossed over. It was like, you just have to accept that this is real. And I was like, okay, it's a very different function than, like, she's not a devil in the way that you think. Like, she's not the devil. She is devil.
She's a reaper, is what she is, yeah.
So, like, it's a whole, like, functionality to a world that's not the commons, and then you're just expected to believe it.
Yeah.
And you get that in the last, like, 100 pages.
The thing is...
I didn't necessarily... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, the thing is that she doesn't remember that she's a reaper. All she remembers is that every day, every lifetime, by her 18th birthday, she's killed by Arden. The same person is always hunting her. And that's what the love story is that at the end of it, you realize she did that to him first and saved him by making him a reaper as well. And, like, forgot her memories. Because they, like, killed each other.
And the reason the way they do this is so that way they don't have to reap other souls.
Yeah.
They kill each other.
And so, I mean, like, do you ever just feel like it'd be easier if Arden just told her the truth? And they even come to that conclusion at the end. It's like, why do we have to kill each other? It's like we couldn't have just held hands and jumped to our deaths together. Right. It didn't have to become an ugly thing.
Yeah.
Like the death when I forgot what year it was, but when she wasn't expecting him at all, and he basically came at her full cutthroat and just like, I don't know, shot her. But it was like her sister, her brother-in-law's little brother sort of situation. It's like, and that, because it's so early in the story, it sets you up to think maybe he's like a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's not actually a bad guy. There's no bad guys here.
The mother is the bad guy.
Like, even, like, but like, even the mother, I wouldn't even say she's a bad guy.
No,
like,
just serving
because
her
she's
function in the universe. Really.
Yeah, she's doing what she was created to do. It's just,
and then
she is the antagonist
like
of the story.
Even that she's like asking them to reap things. It's like, Well, if she would die afterwards. She's like, okay, well, I would get all of your love instead. Now, is she cruel about it? Yeah. But at the same time, I'm still thinking about she literally created Evelyn out of loneliness.
Yeah.
So they're still like, I'm not saying anyone's a bad guy, is what I'm saying. Even the mother.
That's fair.
Because how much loneliness can one expect to endure until you break even a creature such as the mother?
Mm-hmm.
And so it became cruel with her.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know everything it is to her backstory, and we're not supposed to know. We're supposed to know that she's the antagonist. But I've been thinking a lot about still on my Severance bullshit. So I'm thinking about like cults and nature and nurture, and how could someone be different dependent upon how they were raised and the nature of how they grew up and stuff like that, or is it just you're an innate person? So when I was reading about the mother, I was thinking about that too.
That's valid, yeah.
This is a point of the conversation I did not expect to have, but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't expect myself to be talking about the mother so much. Anyways, yeah. So, what else? What siblings were, or what variation of the couples did you find the most fun?
I don't remember the most fun. I will say the most heartbreaking, I think, was the ones when they were in the war.
Okay, yeah.
But then also like the present day ones, because like he tricks her.
Mm-hmm. I also the one when they're in the snowy mountains and it's like, oh no, I see. You're digging this grave for both of us.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that one was tough.
I think
the one of their trenches.
They're all really tough because you're seeing those snippets at the end of their lives.
Yeah.
You're not seeing really any of the good stuff.
The one in the trenches when they're in the war. I remember they said that the mother came in, pulled the trigger themselves, and she said basically, I had sent you there because war was supposed to be the most, but and yet their love stayed true.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's sad. It's poetic.
Yeah. It is very poetic.
And I think I found the one when they were as kids, and I forget what period it was. There was a lot of time periods. But when they were kids and Evelyn realizes that, oh, this person, my best friend I've known since I was a child, is going to eventually kill me. And later on she takes it into his point of view, in terms of Arden's point of view. It's like, how can you as a person, you realize, your waking thoughts, and then you start getting memories like, I have to kill the person I love the most in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to him shutting himself off and become more methodical about it, more machine-like. And I get it. Like when he's like crying to it with his back to her. He's like, "You think this is easy?
Right.
You don't think I just want to hug you and love you, but you're the love of my life, but I don't deserve you anymore." And it's because of the amount of times he's had to kill her.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's sad, and that's sort of where I started giving like a little more, because a lot of times I felt very like I was reading them, but I wasn't in them.
Yeah.
Like in their love.
Right.
The ones that I felt love towards more was Evelyn and her sister Gracie, right? I think that's her name, Grace.
Yeah.
When then she's begging Arden, Dylan, that version. Like, can't you see she has cancer? Why are you going to do this? Do you not want to see her die as well? And he's like arguing with her. Like, you don't think I tried to do research as well? You don't think I want this to happen as well? But I can't. These things will happen.
Right.
And again, it paints him to be such a monster, but in reality, he's very human, and that's what he is.
Yeah.
Started as.
One of the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the plot devices that I really like, because it kind of teases different things, is this quote on the front of it. It's 10,000 years of you, and
Mhm.
that's a book. It's like, or a series of poems, I think.
Oh
more
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
What Arden writes throughout the years. So it's an anonymous or like forgotten author.
Well, he writes in every lifetime. He writes in a notebook, just poems and things. And when they died in the Siberian wilderness, it was in their grave. So modern day, they found it when they were excavating, and someone basically translated and published it as
as
unknown
a book,
author.
An unknown author. That's
I like how he was all like scribbling it. He was like, "No, that's wrong.
Right? They fucked
Yeah,
it all
he
up.
They should have done that."
um
He's like, "They should have done this translation or that verbiage," and he's like, "No, actually, it's hard to do, because it's like there's." I love how his thing was books in art, in poetry,
I very much loved that.
and
It was very cute.
yeah, the different.
I feel like you don't get a lot of like males portrayed as being
soft
in that manner with like books
Yeah.
and things. Like normally they're intelligent and they're like wit smart and quick, but he is very soft about it and emotional, and that's not very common.
romantic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not romantic in the way that Shakespeare was romantic, because that was just actually kind of creepy.
I've said it 2 times already. I'm gonna say it again. Which why when he has to, you know, help himself, and he has to shut off those emotions, it makes sense. It makes sense. I love how the idea, how he, and especially Arden, because he's the one with the memories, but he, every lifetime they go through 10,000 years worth, he tries to figure out what's happening. When they learn about the different religions, he's like, it's this, but it's that, but it's this, but we're different things. What are we? Who are we? But at the end of the day, the one who knows me the most is this person. So what happens? What happens?
Right.
And I did like how they were going through those motions of trying to figure it out, or at least he was. Another worse segment of their time on Earth was in the Lunuin. That was bad.
One of them left the other, right?
Wait, sorry. I was reading an email in a different language. What did you say?
Is it Spanish?
Yeah, it was my Spanish teacher.
I was like, why did you get an email in a different language?
When Evelyn left Arden in the loony bin, basically.
Oh yeah, okay. That's one of my favorite lifetimes of theirs, actually. Is when they're in the loony bin.
Yeah.
And he she escapes, but then she goes back. And yeah. They get born anew.
And I love you.
I wonder.
Love you, and I will love you.
I'm curious how they ended up dying in the asylum.
Was it not in there?
I don't recall it being in there.
Might not have been.
Because Evelyn leaves and then comes back. Because she has visions of the underworld.
Yeah.
I don't recall how they actually died being in there.
I don't really remember how they died.
I don't recall either.
I know there was like an attempt.
Well, one.
But they got caught.
Yes, with the pin.
Yeah.
So I know at one point they were on a boat, and the little girl version. She was like 2 minutes away, maybe from maybe less than 2 minutes, and then the little girl version of Arden like kills her. There was the one where they're both guys, and he had a bum leg, or Evelyn had a bum leg, I think it was, and then Arden's character had something else. But then Evelyn's character just shoots Arden. Like, if you're not gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it. And then
yeah, because they kill each other often enough. It's just he was mainly the one killing her.
Yeah, it went back and forth. I did enjoy the opera house.
Yeah, that's the one, the opera where he shoots him.
Shoots him in the head.
Fine.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was a comedy.
Do you think it's odd, or do you think it's fine the way that Evelyn couldn't make out Arden in every lifetime. You know, I know she said like obviously as the years gone by he got better at disguising himself, but like Dylan was there the
Yeah.
entire time.
And she did at one point think it was him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then she's
she
like,
thought
"There's
it
no
maybe it was
way,"
a little
because she met this
crush.
other guy and was like, "Oh, that's him." And that was kind of
Yeah.
sad. This
That
just
other
random
poor
man.
that she hit over the head with a shovel.
She's
and
like,
tied
"I'm gonna
up.
get you this time.
That was
I'm
funny.
gonna knock you out." And then Dylan's like, "Just there,
Just-
girl. What are you doing?
He's like, good try. Like,
You're wrong. It's me."
Yeah.
What?
But also, like, what a shitty way to do it. Get so close to your entire family, be like an integral part, and then be like,
Yeah.
actually, I'm gonna.
That's
murder
why I'm
you.
like, that's kind of shitty. You like
Well,
put yourself. Granted, it wasn't like
that's
his
why
choice,
he
but-
as
yeah.
Dylan. He as Dylan was like, I wasn't planning on getting close.
Yeah.
You know, like I planned on doing it like I did the last one, and just haha last minute. But like, you know, this family just brings you in.
Yeah, I like that. Like, her sister was the.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, but I like that Gracie was like this catalyst that almost kind of like pushed Arden to consider trying it differently. You know what I mean? Like they were doing all these things to save her because he loved her almost as much as Evelyn did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how at the end in the new life, you know, after the mother's dead and everything, they're like, well, not just that, but it's like, okay, no one's gonna have memories, you know. The thing that I really loved about this was the unknown. The thing about being human is the unknown.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're gonna die. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know anything. And the fact that they had each other regardless of the many lives, and they knew they were gonna spawn, you know, it was gonna bring each other the red strings of fate, you know, the wedding, you know. But
that was a crazy way. Wasn't that like the first scene?
That was one of the first.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
One of the first
that was the first
like,
scene.
Literally, I'm like, what is that? And then just
like,
hello.
It's okay. I had to reread it a couple of times because I couldn't quite understand who killed who the first time I read it.
But you realize later afterwards that it was Arden that killed Evelyn there, but he was spawned as a woman in that lifetime.
Yeah.
But like that's what I liked. And then when you realize later, it's like, oh, okay, they can switch like genders. It doesn't matter.
The fluidity of it and how they no matter how they spawned in the universe, they continue to have those like pillars of their person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But going back though, it's like at the very end when, you know, the deal was done, you know, well, but actually the overflowing love that Evelyn had, not just for Arden, but for all pieces of her lives, from, you know, the dad in this one, the mom in this one, the sister from this one, all combusted so much that the mother couldn't handle it.
Right.
And she basically died. And that's what freed them, and they were able to spawn anew, but spawn enough or close enough to their past life as, you know, Dylan and whatever her name was, Bowen or whatever her name was.
Yeah. We're lucky I remember it's Arden and Evelyn, right? I don't know their
you know how I know? You know how I know their names right now is literally in front of me.
You're looking at it.
She wrote notes this time, guys. She's prepared.
Just those two names are there.
All right. We're going to pause real quick.
But
just to make sure that this is actually still going. I'm terrified, dude. Continue,
yeah. But that he was able to make some clothes. I can hear my echo over there.
Interesting.
You shouldn't. No, Bluetooth is still off.
Okay.
Your microphone is like
coming in and out.
Yeah, you're coming in and out. So I don't know if like you need to be closer to it or something.
Her headphones. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just sometimes if you lean back or something, like the microphone just cuts out.
Got you. Okay, so starting again. Yeah, so I'm glad that Evelyn in that variation was able to make clothes for Gracie or Grace, whatever the sister's name was.
Yeah.
And I like how no matter what, even with that tether gone, they knew their souls recognized each other.
Yeah, like she was like obsessed with, because Gracie becomes like an actress, So in this new life, Evelyn is like, she feels like coming home or something like that.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I knew I need to get here. I know
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It was a good read. I liked it.
It
I
was a
liked
very
it.
good read. I
I
really
definitely
enjoyed
cried.
it.
I cried a few times.
Some of my favorite hard hitting passages or from the 10,000 Years book. There
Mm.
was one that I even took a Snapchat of, or not a Snapchat, a screenshot of. Let me see if I can find it.
I was gonna say I saved a bunch of quotes too.
Mm.
The very first one I have is one of my favorite words is confelicity, and I kept that because it was a Spanish joke.
I don't know if I saved any. I used to write them all out.
So the one that I saved, and I literally saved it because it reminded me of Severance. It goes, life gives us grief little mounds of wet clay, ripe and heavy beneath our reluctant hands,
Mm.
and with it we can do one of three things. We can carry it with us wherever we go, stooped beneath its awful weight, we can shove it to the back of a wardrobe, buried beneath an old waxed coat, or we can make something beautiful and let it live on beyond us. So, one that reminds me of Severance for several reasons, which I won't get into because, I want y'all to watch that show one day, no spoilers. But in conjunction with this show, or this book rather, my bad, is how no matter their shitty lives and what everything they did, they, especially Evelyn in, you know, each of her lives, because she had a family in each of them basically, and she let herself love, was she made something beautiful out of that lump of clay.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're looking at it from Arden's point of view, he shoved it in the back of his closet, those emotions. And again, it was a protective order, but that's what he still did.
Mm.
And then the book itself, the 10,000 Years, even though it wasn't meant to be published, I think is something that he melded as something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I really liked that one.
I like that.
Yeah.
My favorite quote was right at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, the stars indifferent, my love beside me, are death's imminent. I just really liked the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
I also took a picture of it's a fucking pyramid scheme because I laughed out loud when I read that.
When they said that, I was like, okay. And then
the whole way it works, right, is like,
yeah,
the mother has taken Gracie and she reaps souls, and then every soul that Evelyn, every soul that Evelyn reaps then works for Evelyn.
Yeah.
And then they have to reap souls, and so it's quite literally like a pyramid scheme of devils.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was funny too.
Isn't Evelyn like literally the mother's daughter?
Not literally, because when you read the last little bit, right, she basically makes a deal to save Calliope when they're in Greece. And the deal is basically that she is
They started off humans.
live with the mother. Yeah, they both started as human, is what you learn.
Yeah.
When you read this very last chapter. And so Evelyn comes back as the mother's daughter. So she's raised in the underworld, where Arden is raised in the human world. But they are, in fact, both originally humans.
Yes. Okay, yeah. I thought I remembered there being at one point she was literally her daughter. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But like,
do you think this
in the original story ending, you don't get that because the mother is like, I get more from the pain of you not knowing than by me telling you.
Yeah. Do you think this book would have been more flushed out better, if you will, with Arden's point of view? Because I feel like you can still have his point of view without, and then drop the "you're a devil" bit at the end.
You definitely could have. I think it would have been interesting to see some of the things from his point of view.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think not present day him.
No, I don't think
I think very early on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would have been interesting to see his side of the asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can allude to them being otherworldly than in his POV, even though he recognizes it all.
Yeah.
Rather without saying it.
And his POV probably would have given you the context that I felt was missing in that reveal, right? Like, you could have gotten more meat
Yeah.
what was coming.
Yeah, it does just kind
Because
of feel
he
like a
remembers
drop.
and she doesn't, so that's the
Yeah.
difference.
It does just kind of feel like a drop when she came first.
Yeah.
Like, she's the reason he is that.
Yeah, I
Why
agree.
did he
I
choose
also.
together?
What do you mean?
Like, why did he originally make the deal?
Yeah.
Because his sister was dying.
His sister, okay, yeah.
Those sisters, man. Do
Do
you think Gracie
Mhm.
is a reincarnate of his sister?
Maybe.
And that's
How
why
dare
he
you.
was so
How
attached to her.
I
as
haven't
well.
read this since January. How dare you make me think about this again?
I'm
I mean,
saying,
I
because
like to
clearly
think.
reincarnating is a thing. It's just
Yeah.
not normal that you remember it
Yeah,
Unless you're a Reaper.
unless you're a Reaper.
a Grim Reaper.
That's insane.
And your love of your soul kills you every time before you turn 18.
Shinigami.
One of my favorite quotes happens to be on the back of this, which is why I remember it. And
Mhm.
it says, "Maybe that's all love is in the end, an endless tempting of fate." And that's
Yeah.
honestly beautiful.
And I think that's very human.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, guys, it's, to quote Moulin Rouge. Oh god, how does it go? How does it go? Shit.
I don't know. What are you quoting?
At the
I wanna know
very
what part of
Moulin Rouge.
all I can think
The
of
greatest
is
thing
song.
is to love and to be loved in return.
Lovely, because all I was thinking of was the song that like has Pink and Christina Aguilera and
Go, sister, go, sister.
yeah, that one.
Oh, did you see that Draco Malfoy's or Tom? Is he
Yes,
Yes,
reprised
and I
it?
want to go. I want to go and watch it again
For sure.
so badly, and I want to stand at the stage door and wait for him to come out because I
He
am.
probably would too.
I'm so mildly obsessed with him, and I couldn't go meet him when his book came out.
You should go.
I don't have that kind of money. We're going to Disney.
How much is it?
When are you going to
I-
Disney?
We're supposed to go in February with the whole family to Orlando.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the ticket and when you go, but like to stand at the door and wait for him, we'd have to stay overnight.
If you go to a nighttime, you could do a matinee.
Yeah, but we can't. I'm not driving home after that. It's
Two-star show.
It's like a 3-hour show. It's a really long show,
Yeah.
and they've cut it. So like it used to be 2 shows. It used to be a part 1 and a part 2. Anyways, I'm gonna look into doing that because
You should.
People on the internet are making fun of him.
Yeah, they're
I'm
like,
not
why can't he let
surprised.
it go? I'm like, he's still living off of those checks. Like,
It's all he ever, like, he never made it bigger on anything else. But also, like, I remember seeing something along the lines of that he's the only one that hasn't come out right and spoken against She Who Must Not Be Named. So there's a little bit of contention there.
Mhm.
But I haven't fully looked into it because I don't actively seek out any of that stuff anymore online because I don't want to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
I don't actually know, which is a little bit of me being ignorant, and I probably should like look it up because I don't want to support Tom Felton if he's also supporting her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Anything? Anyone else want to talk about on this?
I enjoyed it.
You know what? This was a great Pride Month read.
Yeah. Happy Pride,
It
everybody.
was.
It did talk a lot about gender fluidity.
fluidity. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that earlier when you were talking about it, but I was like, believe it. We should read
I have no idea what
like
you're
a
saying.
sapphic book. You can't hear me?
No idea.
Like, you can't hear us, or
Say it again.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
It didn't switch.
I think this might have to be it then, guys.
Hold on. Keep recording.
Okay, I'm gonna keep recording because
Hold,
they
please.
hung up. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can I hear you?
yeah.
Hmm?
No. Say something again.
Can you hear me? Hello.
I mean, I
hello,
can read
hello.
your lips. Wait, I can hear
Oh.
you now.
Well. Oh, can you?
Interesting.
Say something else.
Hello.
Hello?
Ding dong, ding dong, shamalama
Nope.
ding dong,
I heard that.
shamalama ding dong.
I heard that.
Okay.
Just that.
Well,
that's all
we'll
you
end
have.
it very quickly. I think we should actually read a sapphic or gay book for this month, and
Ava reads Fable for the End of the World.
we could do that one. I'm also kind of reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil,
That
which
is
is by
also
V.E. Schwab, which
yeah.
comes out on the 10th. I have the arc, that's why I'm reading
Whose
it now, but I've
pick
been
is
slowly
next?
reading it.
Is the real question.
She picked, so I think you. I think that's the rotation, because that's the rotation of our names.
I'm currently reading a third book in a series, so I'll get back to you when I finish that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what to read. I just kind of
Although,
read things.
You should read A Door in the Dark because it's a really good book, and I'm obsessed with it, and I need more people to read it. That's all.
Door in the
Thanks,
Dark.
That's my pitch.
I need y'all to
It's
watch Severance, and that's my pitch.
Listen, A Door in the Dark, the tagline on that book was if Hermione was the main character and she was morally gray. So
I'm hooked. No, the book I recently read, which is a new release from Red Tower, Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry.
I've heard it's good, but
I was
don't think
unaware.
it's gonna be for me.
I was unaware of Daphne's game. I really enjoyed it. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah. Just let me know what you pick.
I will. It'll be a surprise for everybody.
Are you still recording, by the way, Lucia?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, good.
All right.
Because I can't hear you guys.
That's fine.
Oh,
That's fine.
Did we already say goodbye?
No, do
No.
the sign off now. That's why I was asking.
All right. Okay. Hold on. Okay. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
This is Lucia.
I'm Katie.
And Mary.
Okay. Bye.
We'll see you next
I'm
time.
gonna stop
Bye.
recording.